finished week 4 of my marathon block, and in this video I want to give you an update of how things are going, what's working and what's not, what adjustments I've made, and how things are looking going forward. So let me start with how things have felt overall after the first month. In the big picture, I'm very satisfied with how training is going so far. I've been consistent. I've just missed one run due to bad sleep the night before, and it being a deload week, I decided it was okay to skip/postpone it. I ended up compensating for it with a shorter run later in the week though. Obviously, running consistently is a key element in achieving the desired adaptations that give me a chance at breaking 3 hours in the marathon. And the key to that for me is having fun and enjoying the process. If it isn't fun, it's not sustainable, and I've burned that bridge before. So far I've done a good job balancing fun and ambition. Also, I feel like my body is handling the load well as I've stayed healthy, and I have no injuries or niggles to complain about whatsoever. Strength has been an important part of that. I've completed 2 weekly strength sessions, 1 leg day and 1 upper body. I often keep those sessions short, but even a 15-minute strength session is much better than nothing. I feel like I have enough energy for other things after running as well. Now let me quickly walk you through the first few weeks. I actually started week 1 of the plan on holidays, where I traveled to Finland, my home country, to visit my family. I stayed in Helsinki for 8 days and ran outside in as cold as -20 degrees Celsius. It was refreshing to spend time with my family, and without the physical and mental demands of my job, I felt like I had loads of energy for my runs. Running in those cold conditions wasn't easy though, and I had to change my approach, especially for those faster workouts. With snow and ice on the ground, I had low traction, which made it difficult to hold my desired pace, so I switched to run just based on effort. Also, for my long run on the coldest day, I didn't do any marathon pace work at all, but instead kept a slightly higher average pace throughout the whole run just to stay warm. In spite of the cold, I really enjoyed those runs as the weather was beautiful, sunny, and I even got to run on the sea ice, which was really cool. Don't get to do that every day. Running in a familiar place also felt nostalgic and brought back many memories. Filming these clips really had my fingers freezing though. In week 2, I returned to Düsseldorf in Germany, where I live. It was encouraging to see that I was able to hold the desired threshold pace and marathon pace once I had better traction again. However, it's often really windy here, which still complicates pacing quite a bit sometimes, but I try to embrace the challenge and see it as a good prep for race day. In week 3, I ran 70 kilometers, which is the highest volume week I have on record on Strava. I probably have a few more weeks like that under my belt, from running before Strava days or football preseason back in the day, but all in all, I felt really good after the week. It hasn't all been smooth mentally though. One thing that has been making me a bit anxious is the increasing distances of the long runs. I know many runners who are more scared of the interval sessions, but for me, it's actually the other way around. Don't get me wrong, intervals are tough, but I guess I'm more used to that kind of training from my football playing days. The distances of the long runs have been scaring me, and I felt anxious in the night before and in the morning. Sure, I've done long runs before, but not consistently week after week, and with faster marathon pace segments in them. I've tried to focus on the things I can control, so making sure I'm fueled and rested as good as I can, checking that my gear is working, and preparing myself mentally by reminding myself that I've put in the work and I can handle it. One thing that helps is thinking about the long run as if it were 2 or 3 separate runs. For example, last week's long run was 28k in total, but first I thought I just need to run 13k easy, run 1, then 12k marathon pace, run 2, and finally 3k for cool down, easy running, run 3. That mental switch made it easier for me to approach it. Now that I have a few of these long runs behind me and they've gone to plan and I've proven myself capable, it builds more and more confidence that I can do more of these workouts and that I will be ready on race day. Easy mileage on top of those workouts, even if semi-long runs sometimes, have been really enjoyable from a mental perspective. I've also actually been able to stick to keeping my easy runs easy, which hasn't always been the case for me. Doing that helps build my aerobic capacity, recover quicker, and actually have the energy to run hard in those interval and threshold workouts. Now that I'm at the end of a deload week, I feel fresh and ready to handle more mileage and more tough workouts in the upcoming weeks. What has been a little bit difficult is scheduling my runs around my job and my personal life, just fitting everything in. I have a job that's quite demanding both physically and mentally, as at the moment I work as a sports therapist in a psychiatric hospital where I help people with different mental disorders improve their mental health through sports and movement. It's a fulfilling job in many ways, but mentally it can be quite demanding, and physically it means I'm doing sports for large parts of the day. Luckily I have Wednesdays off, which gives me a perfect opportunity to do a tougher workout then. On the private side, I want to have enough energy on the weekends to spend time with my girlfriend, so I prefer to do only easy running then. And that leads me to the changes I've made to the plan so far. Originally I had long runs scheduled for Saturdays, but knowing I will soon be running 30k and more with increasing marathon pace segments, I decided to move them for Wednesdays when I can just dedicate the rest of the day for recovery. That led to switching the other weekly workout threshold or intervals from Tuesday to Monday, as I don't want to do two hard workouts back to back. The other easy runs are scheduled for Tuesday and Saturday mornings, and that's a structure that feels manageable at the moment. Another change I made was adding a half marathon time trial for the end of March. I was looking for a tune-up race, but decided in the end that a time trial is the best option for me to test myself before the marathon. I will run it on a Saturday, 5 weeks out from the marathon itself. That should give me some idea if I'm actually on for a sub 3 attempt or not, and it'll help me put together a race plan during the last weeks of the block. So looking ahead to the next phase and the next few weeks, I will keep building mileage, run more tough workouts, and aim to maintain consistency. I had to put more focus on recovery and make sure I sleep, eat, and hydrate enough as training load increases. The weather is getting better and better, and the mornings are getting brighter, which gives me extra energy to get after it. 4 weeks in, I feel calm and confident, but aware that the real work is still ahead of me. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like and check out the Elaborate Runners community on Skool to follow this marathon prep in real time. It's a community full of supportive members sharing their own running journeys from all across the world. Inside you can also find personalized tools to set up your heart rate and pace zones, predict your race times, and more. So whether you're a seasoned runner, a beginner, or someone just interested in running, join the community. I'd love to see you inside and hear your story.